Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's episode, we're going to talk about the possibility of a third world war. Now, obviously, it's on the table. It's always been on the table, guys. It's just nothing really new. But I think it might be closer than we think. I think a lot of us know that we will be seeing this in our lifetime. And some of us think we might not be seeing this in our lifetime, but it's going to still happen. Now, last night I read an article in the Post where a general in the British Army, no kidding, this is the guy's name, General Sir Nick Carter, right? So not Nick Carter, the dancing musician fool, an actual Nick Carter, like a man, right? So this guy warns, I'm pretty sure he's warning the world, but it was a UK interview where we are on deck for a third world war. And it sounds like soon. Reasons why? Because of everything that's going on. So what he said was pretty much that because of the economic woes due to the pandemic virus, we are on deck for a third world war. He goes on to explain the reasons for them. We'll get to that in a little bit. He is a general in the Defense Staff Department, if that makes sense, right? He's Chief of Defense Staff. So he has more of an insight on these kind of things, obviously, because he's surrounded by it. He gets intel from everywhere. So if you're getting intel like this guy is, and you're getting it from everywhere, then you're going to know more about what's going to unfold and how fast it's going to unfold and when it's going to unfold. So with that, I think not trusting him, but taking his warnings and putting it in the back of our heads is something we should do. I am not saying third world war is going to start tomorrow, but the fact that it's a possibility and it's a lot closer than we think, it's something to consider. That's it. I'm not sitting there saying run to your bunkers and your shelters and get more food and water now. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the possibility of it happening sooner than later is possible. A lot of countries were having economic problems before COVID. COVID just sort of hightailed it into the red, if you will. So a lot of these countries are going to have way bigger hardships come 2021. With those hardships brings a lot of, I guess, unforeseen issues that can lead us to the Third World War. According to General Sir Carter, and that's Sir, S-I-R, guys. I guess they get knighted or some shit out there. Most of these people get knighted for whatever reason. But anyway, I digress. Back to the conversation. He also said that a lot of people seem to think that war is the only answer, that violence is the only answer. And it's not. We've been through 2 world wars, and the atrocities in those wars are probably being forgotten. It's why, in his interview, he says remembrance is a big to-do, because remembering those past atrocities would keep us, or should keep us, from entering new ones, from entering new wars. This is his big, mantra in the interview is remembrance is key, because remembrance is going to keep us away from those wars, or should keep us away from those wars. Now that we are forgetting about those atrocities, we are all quick to sit there and say, war is the only answer, including myself. A third world war or civil war is something that we shouldn't jump into. And I have said it because I'm like, enough's enough. But if we enter those realms of war, if we enter civil war or the Third World War, there's going to be a lot of shit done that we cannot take back. That's why we need to 80-60 the idea of any kind of war. So, economic crisis in the past, pretty sure if you research it, economic crisis in the past have brought on wars that we've all known and seen, or read about. Sorry, if you're too young, you probably read about them. So that being said, we could be repeating itself. History could be repeating itself. The humanity will be repeating itself with these bad decisions we're going to make because of the economic woes we have happening. We are in uncertain times. We're truly in uncertain times, and everyone's anxious. Anxious people get nervous, nervous people get scared, scared people do stupid shit they can't take back. This is worldwide now, guys. Now we're talking about world leaders and countries and things like that. We're not just no longer talking about individual people. We're talking about entire nations that are going to be anxious, nervous, scared, and then do something they can't take back. This is his warning to the world. It's not just the UK, it's not just Europe, it's the world, it's all of us. We have to consider this, because do we really want to go down that road of a third world war? Because I think a third world war, I know a third world war in this day and age would be way more worse than the first two world wars. It would actually make the first two look like a picnic. And if a lot of you who studied the Second World War and the first saw how bad that was, how shitty that was, the amount of the body count, the amount of people that were hurt at home behind the loss of loved ones, this would be a lot worse. If it goes nuclear, then that is the end game. But if it doesn't go nuclear and it goes boots on the ground, that's going to probably be just as harsh. Now, when he talked about security risk, I'm assuming that he's talking about the regional conflicts all over the world. There are regional conflicts going on, guys, and we're not hearing about them because we're consumed with this fucking election. At least here in the United States, we're not hearing about them. And if you're listening to just one news source, you won't hear about it. But if you listen to other news sources like BBC News or RT News, you're going to hear about these other conflicts. Of course, those conflicts are going to be painted in the favor of whoever's reporting it, but nonetheless, you're going to hear about it. Now, there is a conflict, and I have to read this because I can't off the top of my head. There is a conflict in the mountainous enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh. I'll put the name of it now. There's a conflict there where at least 1,000 people have died in the last 6 weeks. Why are we not hearing about this? Because we're consumed with our own bullshit, at least here in the United States. And that's for those of us who haven't heard about it. I guess there are some of you who are watching this who know about it, but it's not being reported worldwide. You had the India-China conflict a few months ago at the border of India and China. You had that conflict go down, right? You also have Russia, Iran, and the UK operating in Syria right now as we speak. That's undoubtedly going to turn into something where the Chinese and the Russians team up to attack the US or so forth. Right now, I think they're trying to keep it at bay. But why are all these forces operating in Syria? Something's going to go down. And the Ukraine is having their continuous conflict with Russia over government Ukraine forces and Russian-backed separatists are clashing. So now, these are conflicts that can easily get out of hand. And if enough conflicts developed around the world, obviously we can have a World War III. There needs to be adults at the table to quell these conflicts. Now, when you have countries like China and Russia who wants to, swing their dick around, that's the issues you're going to have. You're going to have issues with that. You're going to have issues with people thinking they're the big shot or trying to be the big shot of the block. Those thought processes have to go. If we want to be one world and peaceful, we have to all be on the same page. We can't be attacking one another because of, I want more land here, I want this country, I have a grudge with that country because they did this to us 50 years ago. We can't have that kind of thought process. So, like I said, these conflicts will lead to miscalculations, which could possibly lead to a third world war. Not saying a third world war is going to happen, but it can possibly take us there. Now, are we ready for war? I said this in my Civil War video. No, we're not. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? We're at a point where that's what we're going to need, is civil war. I mean, Prepper Nation said it the other day with the American divorce, right? America's about to divorce. Something needs to be done, because if we cannot get along, something has to be done, right? As again, civil war is not it, though I see why people say it, and including myself. The other day I was saying, you know what, civil war is the only way we're going to have to bring back this country, because if the left keeps muting the right, conservatives, people who want to speak up, what else is left? War. Or maybe we take the less harsher path of splitting the country in two. That's the kind of conversation I'm hearing. And I don't believe in neither. Again, when I said the Civil War comment, I was a little pissed. But now that I'm not pissed, Civil War is not the way, and splitting the country is not the way. We cannot have a split country. Because a split country will mean that one side or the other will be easily manipulated by the Russian or the Chinese that have forces on their land to eventually do something stupid like attack the other half. That's why we can never split. That's why we have to stay strong. Yes, every now and again when someone gets pissed off or annoyed, you'll make some stupid comments, but then you got to sit back, relax, rethink what you said, and go, that is not the answer. And splitting this country is not the answer, and civil war is not the answer. We're going to have to find an answer, though. But the answer shouldn't be violence. And if it has to be violence, then it has to be. But right now, I don't think we're at that point where it has to be violent. All right, guys, so this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching.